It's a full 2 days after I did my last video. The opening video was done in Indiana, in an airport. No, Chicago. I don't know. Oh, that's good. So it's been 2 days. Saturday, flew back. You know, it's funny. The airport. Amy's like, "Ooh, what's the airport like?" Actually, well, in the planes, you got to keep your mask up the whole time, and they'll literally tase you if you don't. If you don't. And the airports, everybody's washing their hands, and it's actually a cleanly place. After flying twice now, I actually feel safer in the airport than I do anywhere else. So it was good. It was good to. That was a feeling of I guess normality for me was getting back in an airplane, if that sounds silly. Getting back in an airplane and flying home. So that was it pretty much for the year. That's not actually true. I'm going to get in another plane. Tuesday I'm going to fly to Delaware to drive Delaware the state, to drive Jazzy Judy. Now, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to get in the plane at 11 o'clock, be in Philadelphia for 1:30, get out of the airport and either get a ride or take a rental car to Dover Downs, I guess in about an hour and 5 minutes from Philadelphia. I didn't know that. Race Jazzy Judy, get back in whichever car, go back to the airport. I'll be home in Toronto at 10 o'clock. I'll be home in this house right here at 11:30. So I'll just miss Tuesday. And I told Tim, Tim obviously, Tim had asked me to go and drive, and I just can't go full time, right? I can't go. But I told him I would entertain going once in a while until my B1 is up. So that's my eligibility to work in the U.S., even in the capacity I have. So Friday, if he gets a lot of horses in, I'll go over Friday to the meadow. It's not too bad, drive over there. I told you guys I hate that drive in the morning, but whatever. I'll go over there, drive in the afternoon. I can be back home again 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. It's not the end of the world. So I'm taking up 2.5 minutes of your yearling video, just giving you an update on what's going on. This coming week, we have Jazzy Judy. We have a bunch of horses in Pennsylvania. But right here, right now, we're going to talk about all the yearlings. And this is important because I'm going to be starting to reach out to people. I don't want to be carrying these horses into the spring. We do want to put together an aggressive marketing and advertising plan here and throughout other areas. But for right now, this second, we're going to start moving a bunch of these shares, putting little groups together of people that, might be like-minded in some sense. So I know what everybody's after, whether you're after, the entertainment aspect of the stable, you're after the racing aspect of the stable, or buying some of these yearlings with the intention of racing them competitively in their prospective jurisdiction. I got a pretty good handle on what's what. So we're going to be reaching out to people this week to try and fill those voids, which are the available shares. So we're going to start with Almost There Boss. Now, Almost There Boss, I thought, this is a great story, I thought was an under purchase. I did, and he was, I believe. Looks great on the track, I'm told. As the shares started to get bought up, I think the breeder went back in and bought a block of shares to sell privately because he believed that the horse was undervalued. Smart move, because I think he's right. I think he is undervalued. I think this horse has got a ton of upside. Just caught in a bad spot in sale season. So I think doing that was smart. So Almost There Boss, he sold out. The stable.ca has no more shares of Almost There Boss. I believe the breeder has a block, and whether he plans on keeping them or selling them incrementally is up to them. It's completely up to him. Now, next is a Mordiner. Now, I haven't paid for a Mordiner yet. The breeder of this horse had bought him back and sent him to us at face value. We actually gelded this colt, but he's very well bred. This is a line I very much like, and I had told you guys. When we were looking at horses, there's just some families that you like, and this is one of the ones Amora, me. I know this whole family's line. We had a couple of horses out of here that I very much liked. So although we had bought a ton of horses in Lexington, I just wasn't going to buy this Father Patrick colt. When he ended up going for $10,000 and the breeder had retained him, it just made all the sense in the world to. When it was offered to us to in fact say yes, no problem, we'll work something out. So Amor Diener, I haven't put any shares up yet, and for the people that are asking where's the shares of Amor Diener, where's the shares of Arches Rainbow, to be quite clear from a business standpoint, I want to make sure we get the horses paid for that we actually have to pay for right now. As far as Arches Rainbow, I've already bought her. She was inexpensive, and we will put shares up on the site for Arches Rainbow. Eventually, they'll go up. Take your time. And the same goes for Amor Diener. Better Be Sawyer, half of her is sold out. The breeder kept a small piece of Better Be Sawyer. This is another filly sold on the same day as Almost There Boss, who, I think Hoofbid's a great site. It's a great app. The problem with Hoofbid is it doesn't get the same traffic just yet, right? You open up a new store, it's going to get some traffic, but it's not going to have the same traffic as Walmart. So I think that's what you're looking at when you're looking at Hoofbid. I like how smooth and technical it is and how it flows nicely. We had sold horses on there, but we just got to get the foot traffic on there. So I think Better Be Sawyer was another horse like Almost There Boss, probably undersold. This is a beautiful filly out of a sister to Eternal Damnation. You pretty much can't go wrong. And you're saying, well, I know, Anthony, but you look at families where the first dams aren't that strong, looking for that home run. I don't have to. She got a brother that took a mark of 49 and made almost $250,000. So there's money in all three dams of Better Be Sawyer. Nice filly. I know a lot of you were waiting for the drone to come, and sorry it couldn't be. Yesterday would have been a beautiful day for it. It just wasn't possible for a number of reasons. But we'll get it done this week. We'll firm up a date for you. It looks like, I believe I left it in James's hands, but it looks like Wednesday might be the day that we do it. I'll firm that up over the next 24 hours with you. Blue Bayou Dio. These are the two Dios that we bought on the on-gate sale earlier on, the two Trixtons. We loaded up on the Trixtons, didn't we? So on the on-gate sale, we had bought the two Dio horses, Duke Dio and Blue Bayou Dio. This is the one that Blair Burgess had actually put me onto and said, listen, I trained the sister. This was a really nice filly. You really should have a look at this horse. And I did, and we bought her. And by all accounts, as of right now, Blair is completely right. This filly trots beautifully, looks good, got a little edge to her. I like Blue Bayou Dio and how she goes. Now, Bomb Hugger is a filly that I haven't gone with, only maybe once or twice. And I asked Amy last night, I said, how's the old Hugger doing? She said, oh, much better now. She was really flighty and nervous when she came in the barn. Now she's cooled out, chilled out. She understands her surroundings, and she's doing her work perfectly. I actually can't wait to see her under the drone myself next week. Century Invictus tomorrow will be the first day with hobbles. Now, just to tell you, we broke them, had them going 4 days. Now Amy goes to them. That's how nice this colt goes along. We will put the hobbles on him tomorrow and get him gated up. Will he be pacing nice for Wednesday? I doubt it, but we'll see. It's an awful big ask for a young horse. So Century Invictus, we'll have the hobbles on him. We'll see how he goes starting tomorrow. Confederate Cruiser, he's going to be castrated next week. Nice little colt, but steady little bugger. It's always the little ones. I told you guys that before a couple of weeks ago. So Confederate Cruiser, we're going to castrate him. But nevertheless, he is what he is. He was a very affordable, inexpensive colt. His full brother did some real good work on the racetrack as a 2-year-old this year. I spoke to the trainer and the driver, who's the same person, about his brother, and everything was flattering by all accounts by him. Oh, here's Jim. Thanks, Jim.
No problem.
You take care now.
What?
You take care now.
Are you in a mid-video?
Yeah, mid-video. There's Jim. Jim, who's your favorite yearling so far?
I don't know. I can't answer that. I like a bunch of them.
Well, how are the two that you just broke then? The Blue Chip Horse and the Crystal Fashion Sister.
I didn't break them.
Well, you
line drove them.
Yeah. They were good?
They were good. Yeah, the one's a little spunky and the other one's good.
Oh, that's good. Okay, get out of here. I'm busy doing videos.
Okay, bye. Have fun.
All right. So, where were we? We were at Confederate Cruiser. So yeah, his brother was good on the track, and Jeff Nysinger, the trainer driver of the horse, said, "Gee, same size, good looking colt. So no reason to believe he wouldn't be a nice little horse." At that price, pretty hard to go wrong. I think it was $8,000 for a Confederate Cruiser. Duke Dio. It's a well-bred colt out of his sister to Donato Hanover. He had no CD removed from his left hind ankle. He was selling online. He was very affordable. This is a horse that I very, very much like. I went with him the other day. He does nothing wrong. Everything perfect. Both the horses we got from all three. Now, the other Dio filly, I'm waiting to see what she's going to be like. Garden State Dio. But the two Dio Trixtons that we'd already had were absolutely perfectly behaved. So, Duke Dio, just a real breath of fresh air. You know, you go with a couple of rambunctious ones that aren't behaving and want to act up, and then you go with this guy, you're like, ah. Anyway, he's just a nice horse to be around. LSL, everybody loves LSL. I looked quick the other day. LSL might be the biggest group of clients that form an ownership group of any horse we've ever had. I think. I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure LSL might have the record for us. Cantab Hall colt, just again, does everything nice. Just a really nice horse to be around. Eyes of 10, this lawmaker's sister. Amy likes going with her. This is a filly. She's on a list of horses we want to get checked just to make sure they don't have any OCDs or anything wrong with them. Over the next 2 weeks, we've compiled the list. We'll be making appointments and getting those horses up and getting them looked at. So Eyes of 10 is one that we will have looked at, but she's not lame or anything. She just carries her butt over on the shaft a little bit. You know, kind of carries her head over, cocked off a little bit. That could just be the way she trots, which would be perfectly fine. We can deal with that. But if it's not, it may be a good indicator that something's up with Eyes of 10. Then we have Garden State Dio. Garden State Dio is Spirit of Dio's sister. We're going to break her. I might put the harness on her right now, today. Sunday, obviously Sunday morning.
Yeah, maybe you don't need to bring your jacket.
No, it's all right. You can bring your jacket.
Open the door.
So we'll likely be putting the harness on Garden State Dio today to get her moving, get her started up. But man, oh man, she is one gorgeous, gorgeous filly. Grace. You guys haven't seen much of Grace. Grace is, hi, pretty girl. Grace is a full sister to Darling Please. So obviously Greg had sent us Darling Please, sent us Grace. By all accounts, Phil Cool raves about her and says how nice she is. I'll see how nice she is tomorrow. She looks nice on the track. She trots nice. And her sister always had the right attitude. We only raced her a couple of times and sold her, but she always had the right attitude training down and racing.
I found your papers.
Which ones?
Your lists.
Oh, where are they?
They're in that bag.
That's all right. It's better this way anyway. What else do we got? Granite Hill. Here, do you want to hold this? Actually, you want to switch spots? Well, it's just I can do my videos. We'll leave you with Granite Hill, and I'll just switch the camera over. I'll sit in the passenger side. Granite Hill, this is a horse. You guys know what I thought of Granite Hill. This is a horse I thought would go for 4 times, literally 4 times as much as he did. Maybe I was wrong, maybe I wasn't, but he is one good-looking horse, and I think he's going to catch everybody's eye here when we start to get him under the drone. He was a little sick the other day, but he's healthy now, and he'll be ready to go for drone day. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to go like that. Hi, Addie Bear.
Hi. Granite Hill's a good horse.
Ah, look at that. Perfect. Bananas. Thank you. Where are we at here?
I'm gonna move this up.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You're driving. So that was Granite Hill, and now we're at Harlan L. Harlan L is now a gelding. Harlan L broke the cardinal rule in the barn of thestable.ca. You do not kick the caretakers. Harlan decided he was going to test the waters, and he is now a gelding. So Harlan L, beautiful colt, big strong colt. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll make a much, much better gelding than he was going to make a stud. So Harlan L is now just a little bit lighter in the hind end.
What about Bay?
Who, buddy?
Bay. We're not at R
Yeah, we're not down at R yet, babe. We're only at H. Hill of Magic. Now, I've told everybody, this right here is probably one of the most underappreciated animals in our entire property. I've said that about a couple of horses, but I really think this filly takes the cake. For a filly, bred well, trots so beautifully, does everything absolutely perfectly correct, and she has a ton of shares left. I will fix that this week, because there's no particular reason why Hill of Magic should have any shares left whatsoever. Just a beautiful, beautiful filly. She does everything right in the burn. Kathy with an eye. I was surprised the other day. James called me to tell me how much he liked the Uncle Peter filly. Said she doesn't turn to go on the track. She's a little stubborn, but she is so big and so beautiful on the track. And I didn't know who he meant. I kept asking him. He kept calling her Karen and Kelly, and then he said, I don't know, something with an eye. I said, oh, Kathy with an eye? He said, yeah. He had a little Freddie moment there. Kathy with an eye is an Uncle Peter. Really, really nice filly. And I can't wait to show her off also this spring. One of our clients, Joel, had sent us the filly. Some of her shares will likely pop up on the board also. But for now, Kathy with an eye is just a horse. Hey, Kathy, what's she pointing at? Kathy with an eye is just a really nice filly that's doing her job really, really well. Loving Beauty. Another filly that really, how's she been? Because I saw her the other day. She looked great. The day I left, she looked like $1 million. And just doing everything right on the track. She was a little stubborn when we broke her, but she just does everything perfectly now. This seems crooked. I don't know. We'll see. So that was Loving Beauty. I mean, again, a lot of these horses, don't take my word for it. Just zone in on them and look at them on the drone, even their first drone video. Some of these horses, you know, I really like Hill of Magic, Kathy and I. These are beautiful horses, but don't take my word for it. Just look at them when they're on the track. Loving Beauty, again, as I said, that's another filly doing everything right on the track now. Got a beautiful gait. She had a beautiful yearling video, a nice page. Yes, she's a sister to Perfect Record, but at the same time, Perfect Record hasn't got a chance to prove himself this year. He's a big, giant Trixton colt that was off and on, training down, and then ended up making to the races. He never made any waves, but tried it in 2 minutes, I think, a couple of times as a 2-year-old. There could be worse things in the world than that. Luck of the Dragon. I am going to, if you live in Ohio and you're watching this, there's a good chance that my phone number is going to show up on your phone this week. I told all our Ohio clients, listen, our biggest following for the most part outside of Ontario is most definitely Ohio. And we have a ton of Ohio clients, a ton of people involved in Ohio, and we still have a ton of shares to be sold in Ohio. And I expect we can get that done this week or in the coming weeks. There's a number of horses: Slim Jimmy, Voyage of Ice and Fire, and now Luck of the Dragon was just bought. But at the same time, this is a very, very nice looking colt. I liked everything about him. I loved his video. And although we didn't get another Down by the Seaside, we did get our first and only Fear the Dragon. Massive Profit. This is the Muscle Massive colt. He was sold out quickly and really not surprising. This is a colt that has done everything right from day one. Just got a beautiful gait on him, and I can't wait to see how he trains down. For the people in Indiana, I think we have 3 or 4 Indiana breds for everybody, so there should be more than enough to go around for Indiana. Although there's no shares left of this guy, still there may be some in the private market come up at some point. Matt's MVP, another horse, little stutty, a little rude, a little lighter on the hind end now. We castrated him this week, so Matt's MVP is now a gelding. Certainly don't think there's anything wrong with that. This horse got a really, really nice gait, and I can't wait to see him train down also. $1 Million Swan isn't even here yet. Still isn't here. They couldn't ship him till Monday. This is the horse. You know, a lot of people may say, well, how do we go about procuring this horse? Simple. We traded him straight up for Cabernet. We traded a condition claim and pacing filly. Hey, do not annoy your sister, please. Ava, you know what I'm talking about.
Give me a muffin.
Okay, great.
I don't want it. Take
$1
it.
Million Swan. So we traded straight up for Ava. We traded straight up for Cabernet. So $1 Million Swan is a very well-bred Swan for all colt. I saw some pictures of him. I talked to the guy that had him. It was a good fit for us. He didn't want any yearlings to train down. This colt had an OCD removed. Hey, this colt had an OCD removed from an ankle. Ava, can you give us something to play with, sweetie? Thank you. This colt had an OCD removed from his hind ankle and missed the Lexington sale. I think they just thought that there would be a pile of people lining up to buy him, and then as strong as the Indiana sale was, it didn't appear that there was a lot of people looking for any horses, and quite frankly, we weren't either. It just, for us, for me, Cabernet, nice filly, but she was about to find troubles with the condition classes here in Ontario, so to trade her for a well-bred Indiana colt. I was surprised, but I guess not surprised that almost all of our clients that owned Cabernet were very interested and excited to trade straight up for this horse. So that's good. I was really, really excited by that. Mischievous Rose, another horse a lot of people haven't seen yet. This is a muscle mass filly, and I think Haley and Jim were just waiting to see what the sales would look like. This is a decently bred filly. A lot of horses we buy in the same manner, a little weaker on the top end, but stronger in the second and third dams. In fact, the second dam is a sister to Globetrotting's mother, so very close relative of Globetrotting, which I didn't realize until I looked her up 2 weeks ago. So Mischievous Rose, Amy said you said she's fine on the track, right?
Yeah.
She does everything right. Everybody that's gone with her says she does everything perfect. Trots nice and square. So again, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I guess that's me. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. Just look for yourself. Well, as I said, we'll have the drone there one day this week. Might be Wednesday. I will firm that up today. So that is Mischievous Rose off of Tom. Amy loves this filly.
Tom.
Loves this filly. Does everything right. Can't wait to go with her every day. She's first on her dance card every morning.
That is not true.
She might be a little stubborn and acts up a little bit, but I do love of Tom. She is a beauty. I spent some time with one of my partners this week, Steve the Socialist, in Timonium, and she's coming up. Steve loves this filly of Tom also, and everybody, you have to like this filly. The only one that isn't madly in love with her is me wife.
I have to drive her every day.
She jogs her every day. She's a little stubborn, but my God, she's got such a beautiful gait. I like this filly so much. 1-2, skip a few. She slid down to Jason's barn. I know I told everybody all the horses are in my care, and they are, but until we get all our horses back in, we don't want to be laying caretakers off, especially we got good caretakers. I don't want to lay any of them off. So we shoved some horses just down to Jason until some of the Ohio breds come back next month. So technically, right now, this second 1-2 skip a few is in Shedrow 12, but she will be coming back up to visit Shedrow and stay in Shedrows 1 and 2 this winter. So 1-2 skip a few just slid down to Shedrow 12 just for a couple of weeks. Peanut butter and jelly. Amy and I were talking about the purchases we made, and I know that there was a couple of clients that had their heart set on a Better Select colt. The ones that we could afford, I didn't like. The ones that I liked, we couldn't afford. In fact, I told you guys I pushed. Now Michael didn't like Hip 126 for whatever reason, and to each his own. That was one of the ones I really liked at a win back, and he ended up going for $175,000 US, which was astronomically high. I thought quite a bit higher. We were talking I'm talking like 40, 50, 60, and you can see I was way off when it came to that horse. But I truly believe, as much as I missed on the upside of Hip 126, everyone else missed on the bottom side of Hip 441. 441 peanut butter and jelly. This is now a little backstory on old peanut butter. Pay attention. Strong family, top to bottom. Now she's only had 2 foals, and it doesn't show either of them have raced. So you're like, geez, that sucks, eh? Top end is pretty weak. And then I got a wonderful call from Kenny Frieder to remind me that Brad Maxwell had the Control the Moment colt. Loved him, thought he was a very, very good horse, and then he had to take an OCD out later in the spring, and rather than rush him back, they just opted to miss the whole stake season. So I assume he's training back now and getting close to the races, but or maybe they're just going to forego it, take him back down to Florida for the winter and have him ready as a 3-year-old. But they were very, very high on the Control the Moment brother to peanut butter and jelly. Now, if you had seen this filly at the sale or seen her, go back. We did a video of her, didn't we?
We went to the farm.
Yeah, we went to the farm, but we did a video of her, I believe. And just an absolute knockout. As far as Better's Delights go, She is on the very large side of a Better's Delight, and she looks like a colt. She doesn't look like a filly. I mean, this is everything we wanted at a fraction of the cost, and that's the easiest way to put it. For the people out there that were looking for Better's Delights, everything you would possibly want in a Better's Delight is present in this filly at a literal fraction of the cost. And I was very astonished, to be honest. I really... That rhymes. See how I did that? Astonished, to be honest. I was trying to see if Amy spits up her coffee. But truthfully speaking, I really didn't think we could afford this filly. I sat down thinking I was going to watch her go for 70, 80, 90, and to get her for what we got her for was...
Dad, what'd you get her for?
Very fortunate. We got her for 18, I think. Very, very fortunate. They went 15. I bid 15. Somebody bid 17, and it was starting to slow. 17. Guy looked at me. It was 20, and he was right in front of me. I looked right at him. I said 18. And he looked at me, and he was going to tell me no, and I was like, listen, dude, I don't know where you think I work or what I do, but so he looked right at me and I said 18. He went 18, 18, 18, bang. And honestly, if you can tell me why she's not worth more than 18, I'll almost give you a share of peanut butter and jelly. How's that? You look at what the Better's Delights went for, how this filly looks, her conformation, her size, her breeding. If you can tell me how she only brought 18, I will give you a share of peanut butter and jelly. So there's a good chance I'm not giving you a share because it's impossible, almost impossible that she brought that. Prairie Fire, another Ohio bred. This guy, I get it. Okay, fine. I know there's some Ohio people that kind of said, he's a long tom, he's okay. Take your time. You can take your time with this guy because I do want to have some shares left over, but Prairie Fire is a beautiful horse on the track. I'm not going to try and convince you. I am going to sell all the shares and all the other Ohio horses. Take your time on Prairie. He'll sell you himself. He's a very nice colt. He does everything right. The long toms, I can tell you, I don't know what they're going to be like, but they got beautiful gaits. And if you're going to ask me, gait for gait, who's the better sire as of right now, which is the first year for both What the Hill and Long Tom, I hate to say it, I like the Long Toms. A little more. Now Amy's giving me dirty looks because
No, you're right.
they got a little bit of dirt in them, but it's not bad to have that. It's not bad to have that little streak in them.
Boys are fine.
Well, that's fine. But gait-wise, I like the What the Hills we have. You know, Hill of Magic's beautiful gait, Granite Hill, beautiful gait, but the Long Tom's got that natural, long, flowing gait. Just beautiful, beautiful horses. So, did I erase a horse? Jeez, I hope not. Next is Procrastinator. Is he pacing now? I think he is it. I just gated him. I went with him in the Hobbles right before I went to Timonium, and he didn't pace, but most don't. But Amy says he's pacing now. So this is a horse very interested to see. This is our one and only down by the seaside. We'll see how he trains down. Purple Aura, everybody says she's the most gifted trotter in the barn. I've only seen her once on the track. We got a lot of nice trotters, but I am very interested. This is a filly that I picked out long before the sale. I had picked this filly out as a horse. Where are we at? 28 minutes. As a horse, I really, really liked. And Purple Aura, beautiful filly, good breeding. I told you I like the creatines. I'm very interested to see how this filly is going to train down. Renegade Gypsy, Archangels. Listen, I don't know what to tell you. A lot of them weren't put together correctly, but the ones we bought are put together perfectly. Arches Rainbows put together well. Yeah. Oh yeah, right. Renegade Gypsy got gelded this week though. Studdy, roaring, jumping around like a goof, and really there's no need of that. I mean, he was here a week. I give everybody, I know honey, I try to give everybody about a week's birth just to chill out, relax, get that out of your system. But when they start to gradually get even worse and louder and goofier, it might be time to think about gelding them. And especially when we have just a nice Archangel horse, it's a pretty simple decision to make. I know that Davey that takes care of him probably didn't want him castrated, but at the same time, this is the time of year to do it. This is the exact time of year to do it. So if there's any indication that it may need to be done, oh my, now is the time to do it. So Renegade Gypsy, nice trotter, does everything right, and now he is a gelding. Resolute Bay, another gelding, little Chessie, snip snip. We took the jewels out of him. He was jumping around and being a goof, but again, no need for this guy to be a stud. although he is the veteran's brother, the veteran himself is a gelding. That should say a lot right in its own. So this is a brother to the veteran by Resolve. Another horse. Guys, go back and look at the prices for Resolve in any of the sales overall, and you'll see what kind of a bargain we found with Resolute Bay. So I'm going to cut it off at Resolute Bay because we're at 30 minutes and I know my phone is about to say enough. So Resolute Bay is the last one. We'll pick it up in just a minute with Rose above it.